foundation for the T degree, but especially around the purposes. Always on your toes.
Well, if you're a player. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Look, we have several people on the Zoom already. Just waiting for the board members and we'll get started in about 3 minutes. We're going to continue 2 matters and then we'll get into the third matter. Jerry, is that you there? Thought so. Wasn't sure. I can't see it very well. You're very blurred. And I can't hear you. I think you're blocked.
Hi, Jocelyn.
Hey, Jerry. Who else have we got here? It's Scott. Yay, Scott. Hey, Scott.
Hey Jocelyn, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
So, Jerry. Good, Scott.
I'm here, Jocelyn.
Hey, Cam.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
And then we have David's going to be calling in. I'm not sure if he's David. Are you on? We'll give him another minute. Both Ian and Jake are away this week. We have 15 participants. David, are you on? I'll try texting him to remind him. Dave is trying to call in right now, so be a couple minutes. I will give him a minute or two. I know he's trying to call in. Worst case scenario, we'll break something up, but I think we can take care of our continuances, most likely before then, because we have two matters that are being continued. So I'm gonna get the meeting started. Anyone have any objections? to That, might as well get going. It's 3:03 p.m. Today is April 14th, 2026. My name is Jocelyn Campbell. I'm Chair of the Nahant Zoning Board of Appeals. And today we're going to have hearings on, supposed to be having hearings on 10 Fallon Way, 75 Bass Point Road, and 148 Wilson. These are continued matters from prior dates. So we're going to get right into it. The first matter that we had originally scheduled was 10 Fallon Way. And are all the parties, or is the representative here that wanted to do the continuance? Is everybody present?
Hello.
Hey, David, you're on. Great. Okay, hang on.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, good. We're just getting started. We thought we'd get the continuances out of the way while you
Okay.
were getting connected. All right, so we just started with
All
10
right.
Fallon Way. And I think
Okay.
is the architect here or the owners?
I
I'm
am
not-
the owner. I'm here, one of the owners.
Hi, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Okay, so I understand you wanted to continue to a date in May. And what
Yes.
date works well for you?
I didn't realize we got to select a date. I thought it
Well,
would
why don't
be.
you tell me, give us a range, and then tell me, I need to know how far you want to go out. And then I'll check with the members about their availability.
Okay. Is there a scheduled ZBA town meeting in May?
No, we don't schedule them because such a small town, and sometimes we go months without any hearings. So, we don't usually schedule them in advance.
So what we've heard from the new folks that we are hiring to do a brand new site plan is that it may take up until the end of May or June. So if it needs to be a date in May, I would say the latest in May as possible, please.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Oh, there's
So-
Jean.
Yeah.
Hi, Jean. So I'm gonna take a look at May, and the members that are on that matter are David, Jerry, Cam, myself, and Scott. So all of you, a date in May that works for you, towards the end of May. I'm going to suggest, why don't we go with, well, Memorial Day is the 25th. We could do the day after Memorial or the Tuesday prior, the 19th.
How about the day after Memorial Day, the 26th
Or maybe the 27th?
or the 27th? That would be even
Check with the
better.
members. How does that work for everyone?
Works for me.
Okay, Jerry, David? May 27th?
27th works for me, yes.
Okay, Cam?
Just checking one moment. I have something at 5:30, but I think that works. Yep,
Okay, we'll make it 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay.
perfect.
And Scott, are you one more person to check with Scott?
Yeah, 27th works. 26 I can't do, so I can do 27th.
May 27th. And that's a Wednesday at 3 o'clock.
Yep.
All right, so if you could please, I know that Jen at the building department sent Luigi the form that has to be signed. If one of them, if someone could sign it and send it back to us, that'd be great. We do need that form on file for the extension to be correct. I have to file it with the clerk. So,
Okay, it has been signed, and I believe Jen has a copy of it, but
okay.
I'll resend it.
I just want to make sure that she didn't have the date. That's why I said to her, she was very nice to send it out for me, but I just said if you could please fill in the date, and then I'll file
Okay.
it with the clerk. Okay?
Okay,
Thank you so much, and I wish you good luck. Can't wait to see the new plans.
okay, all right,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so the next matter we have that we're going to continue would be 75 Bass Point Road. Is Mr. Cleary here or his representative?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. My name is John Foley. I'm representing Mr. Cleary for this.
Hi, John. How are you?
Pleasure. Nice to meet
Okay,
you.
so how far out do you want to go?
I wouldn't mind having that same May 27th date. That would work well for us as well.
Okay. All the members, is everybody okay with that? And the people who are on that matter are David, Cam, myself, Scott, and Ian. Ian's not here, so we'll have to.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Yep.
So the 27th
I'm
is a
good with it.
Wednesday.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yep.
David? Okay, just remember that Cam has a hard
I'm good
stop
with it.
for 5:30. He's got something afterwards. So we will schedule this. I'm going to schedule everything for 3 o'clock. So as soon as we're done the other one, we can get started right away.
Great.
All right? And we'll make sure that Cam can get out at the appropriate time. And so we're going to have to take a vote on both of these continuances. So why don't we do the first one first? On 10 Fallon Way, could I get a motion to continue that matter?
Okay, I'll move that we continue 10 Fallon Way to 3 o'clock on May 27th.
Second.
Cam, second. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Hi, David Walsh.
I, Gerardo Raphael.
I Cam Merrill.
Hi, Scott O'Frias.
And I, Jocelyn Campbell. Okay. And then as far as 75 Bass Point Road is concerned, could I get a motion to continue that matter, please?
I'll make a motion to continue the matter of 75 Bass Point Road to 3 o'clock also on the 27th of May.
Okay. Who seconded?
I'll second
Second.
it.
I'm sorry.
Cam, second. Okay.
Yep.
And any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
David Walsh, aye.
I, Gerardo Raphael.
Cam Merrill, I.
Scott O'Frias, aye.
Campbell, aye. Okay, so both matters are continued until May 27th.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
And I'll get the signed form back to you presently.
Please do. If you have anything else you need to file, just send it over to Jen in the building department and she sends it right to us.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Have a good
Thank you,
afternoon.
sir. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So anyone who is not involved in that, but who is involved in those two matters, they can hop off if you want. We're going to get started on another matter in a little bit. The next matter that we have on is for 148 Wilson Road. Are the parties here for that matter? We originally suggested 4 o'clock, so it's all right if they're not here. We may have to wait a little bit.
Yes, we're
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
The
All
faucet.
right. Great. It looks like we've still got a significant number of members and got 7 participants at the moment. So let's talk about this for just a second before we get started on your matter. I just want to talk to the members for a minute. So David, Cam, the people who are deciding for 148 Wilson, David, Jerry, Jake is out today, Scott and myself. Cam is not on that matter. I wanted to let everybody know that Jake is out. He could not be here today, unfortunately. So we only have 4 out of 5 members. So the first thing I want to tell Mr. and Mrs. Fawcett is that, for some types of decisions, we need to have, 4 out of 5. Most types of decisions, actually, 4 out of 5 members have to decide in your favor. And so you can choose to either go forward today, or we can continue the matter for you as well. I want to let you know you have that option. Okay. I know, I feel bad, but I couldn't do anything about him being out today.
Let's move forward.
Move forward? Okay. All right. So where were we last time and what has happened since we last spoke?
All right. So first we wanted to make sure that the zoning board received the lot area coverage calculation basis from the surveyor.
Okay, yes, I did receive it. Did all the members receive it and have a chance to take a look at it?
Yeah. Can we put it on the screen?
Do you have it handy?
I have it. Yeah, hold on.
I can pull it up if you don't have it
No,
handy.
I've got everything here, I think. Oh, let me just,
Acrobat, maybe.
there it is.
Sure.
Okay, that's the plot plan. Let me just get this stuff out of the way. Yeah, so basically, the surveyor said that the dwelling was 990, the garage 335, and the deck 300 for a total of 1625, which gave us a 21% coverage currently. And then with the proposed plan of the deck on the left side, 420 additional, and the deck on the right side, 200 square feet additional, a total of 620 additional square feet, which gives us the 31% coverage,
Okay.
which is, I mean, that's the calculations we have. And the other question that came up was the inclusion of the tidal regions.
Yes, and I did look into that. And it essentially what it is that the area between your high tide and your low tide is essentially managed by the state. And they kind of hold it in trust. People can fish there, swim and walk and all that. And so you legally do under the laws from the 1600s own to the low tide mark. But for zoning purposes, it's the high tide mark. Okay,
It's the high tide mark, not
supposedly the mean high tide mark, supposedly, right? So, but then we have a lot in front of us, and I understand that the definition is the bay. So we're going with even if we take a look at, we're going to talk about the calculations in a minute, but even if we were to include, we looked at that plot plan that showed the 12 feet all the way up. You know, I'm not sure that you would still make it with the. I think you're still not non-conforming. That's what I'm trying to say. So all right, so we have that. We have the calculations. Thank you very much. And before I move on, do the members have any questions for the applicants before we go into our discussion?
Just to clarify, Jocelyn, are we saying now that with the new plans, it's a 31% coverage?
With the new plans? Based on their
33.
Yeah,
33?
It's actually
30. 33.
31.0.
Yeah, 31.0 is what he calculated.
And that's actually to the seawall, not to the mean high tide.
Right.
Okay.
Because the lot as
Yeah.
So that's to
We
the
understand.
okay.
Okay.
Good.
All right. So now that we've clarified the percentages, and I have one question for the applicants. Did you consider modifying or reducing any of the deck area?
Yes, we can certainly consider reducing the deck area. But did you want to say anything else, Helen, first?
I think one of the other things that you had asked us at the last meeting was to think about what was of most importance for this
Yes.
project. And so I just want to reiterate what is of most importance. And, we have spent the last couple of weeks trying to work through different scenarios to try to de-scope the project as you requested. So of importance in ranking order is the water shedding from the extended eaves that we propose that would ensure the rainwater percolates into the ground and doesn't go back into our house foundation as is currently the case. Next is avoiding the oversplash from entering the basement area on the ocean side. Third is affording privacy that will also result in potential noise barrier. And then finally, offering a sheltered space to allow utilization of outdoor area during inclement weather or extreme sun and heat. And then Steve has looked at the neighborhood just to see if the project would be detrimental or is consistent with other houses on Wilson Road. So he has some calculations and some things to show as well.
Okay.
That's acceptable.
Yep.
Well, so can I ask a question about what you just said, though? The first one was the rain, the gutter. Now, this is, you're referring to you're not referring to the oversplash on the stairs. You're referring to something else. What part of the property are you referring to there?
Well, basically can you see the bird's eye view on the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
You see the porch with the roof, right?
Right, with the turquoise roof.
It has gutters, and you're gonna tie in the gutters into a dry well system like the conservation wants you to.
Yeah, so the back part of the house from this bump out towards the street is actually crawl space. And so we've got essentially a crawl space, then it goes into a full basement for the back half of the house. So, with these gambrel style roofs, you've got a minimum overhang and the gutters are right there, and all the water essentially sheds right to the edge of the foundation into the crawl space and everything else. And so what we're proposing is, adding on to ensure that we have proper water shedding. We are well within the setbacks, and essentially this is what we're adding to the house. Can you see the lines on the screen now? The additional deck and then the roof on either side that would help us, which would also extend out towards the street side.
Okay.
Does that all make sense and see what we're?
It does. I just want to make sure I had those two issues were separated out. I understand the other three.
So, what we're trying to do, as you can see from this overview here, is we have no covered outdoor space. And we also have, two sump pumps going in the crawl space. And this has been a continued problem. And we're in the process of re-siding the entire house and doing the roof. And as part of that, we thought it made sense to extend our roof line to include a usable outdoor space, as well as address this seawall issue and, splash over issue from the seawall with the door in the back, which is below grade. And there's no other way to essentially enclose that without having a deck to access it. So those are the problems we're trying to alleviate.
Great. Can you tell us what else you had some more information your wife said about the calculations and things like that?
We do, and I'll go into that in a second.
Okay.
So this overview was done before we bought the house, this picture, and two houses down, this structure was added, which is essentially 1 foot from the seawall, second story addition, and that now exists. Neither here nor there, but that's where we're at. Also, I took a look at the calculations for the entire street, and first off, here's the existing overview of the house where we're at. The red is our property lines, and the blue are adjacent properties. And every house on our street, with our exception of ours and one down towards one.
Mr. Foster, are you referring to a different picture? Because this picture is just the only one showing still is the plot plan or the site plan.
Oh.
You might have to unshare and then reshare.
I am so sorry.
It's okay. Click on the new picture and reshare.
Yeah, let me share.
It's okay.
So you did not see what I was talking about before. Which one? This one. Can you see that now?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody else can see it okay?
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry, because I thought you were seeing this.
No.
So this is the bird's eye view of our house. As it exists when we purchased it, and the previous comments about shedding the water, we're trying to add on a roof that connects to the house as shown here with the deck underneath it. The existing neighborhood has been altered with this structure in the last 2 years. It was added without a ZBA meeting involved, but that was added given the existing footprint. Anyway, so moving on, this is the bird's eye view of the neighborhood. Can you see this now with the red?
Yes.
Bird's eye view of the house from the Google Maps. This shows our property lines and the adjacent neighbors' property lines and the setbacks. The setbacks are in dotted lines, and our proposed projects is the black line. We're well within the setbacks on all the sides. And the neighborhood itself, unfortunately, is, as you know, all non-conforming, and a lot of the properties are built up to the property line or very close to the property line. And, you know, I understand we purchased a non-conforming lot and we have to live within the constraints. But the concern here is we believe this project fits within the character of the neighborhood. Our percentages are well below what the existing neighborhood has, and we're well within the existing setback requirements for an R2, even though, you know, I would argue 75% of Little Nahant is not conforming and not even close to the setback. Here's the calculations I did for the entire street from 108 Wilson up to 176 with the building percentage estimates, which I would argue, given that I have a PhD in mechanical engineering, it's probably pretty close. And it goes between 38% to down to 20% for 170.
Let me just stop you right there, Mr. Fawcett. So we generally don't really care about what other people have done or do. We can't do anything about that. All right. The only time we get involved in, comparing your property to another is when we're looking at the front, the setback in the front. Because the reason for that is that our bylaws allow us to do that. So I know there's people who build in Nahant illegally, and it's done all the time, and I can't do anything about it. We're not enforcers. We only can deal with what's in front of us. Okay?
Understood. And I understand that these are all existing nonconformances. I'm just making the point that I feel that this project fits within the character of the neighborhood. It's not detrimental. We're within the existing setbacks, even though, as we know, it's almost impossible to do that on Little Nahant and ... So I think it fits in. The arguments were made by our neighbors that would be too close. But the proximity of closeness is a relative term, and those houses were built too close to the property line. Mine is not, and I'm within the setbacks, so I don't think that's an applicable argument. So again, the numbers speak for themselves. Did you stop sharing, Helen?
I did. Yeah.
You stopped sharing, but the numbers speak for themselves, and we're at 31% with the full project. We're at
6 and 6. Oh,
I'm not sure where that's coming from.
You're within your setbacks, and I understand. But are you there's conservation making you put the dry well in?
No, they actually were quite pleased with the idea of shedding off the extended eaves in percolating into the ground.
You percolate into the ground, really?
Because
they do have a drawing on drainage on their application.
Well, we've got to gone through the conservation committee, and
Yeah.
we told them what we were proposing. With the extended roof lines, all of it draining into the yard as it currently does, and it essentially was approved back in November.
And there's
So
a
it's not-
significant slope there, right, Jerry? I mean, I think pretty sure.
Yeah, well, the problem, so it doesn't have a charging station, so it's not, all the downspouts are not tied into anything?
The downspouts are not, they're going into the ground. There's not a dry well.
Yeah, so you're gonna have runoff from the roof line all the way around that whole house. And it's gonna run off to your neighbor's yard. I'm saying that you should consider putting a charging system in that goes into the ground and it leaches into the field instead of surface. The surface water is just gonna drain right to left into your neighbor's yards, meaning that roof is gonna have a lot of water coming off of it. And if you don't pipe those downspouts in, you're gonna have an issue with the water. So, I think it's a good project, but you still have a little couple issues. But I mean, your setbacks are good. You're doing your 33%. I don't see it being crazy, but other than that, I mean, I think I have a problem with the drainage in the roof line. I mean, I would take in consideration of you just designing something from I think the town has a tank that you can put into the ground. You can just charge it into the ground.
Okay, we can certainly consider that, and that's certainly
Yeah.
something that could
So
be.
I think the conservation has like a little schematic that you need to do for your downspouts. I'm
Right.
just saying, there is something,
Oh,
because when you call dig safe for your project, it will come up,
right,
and then
okay,
you'll have the issue after. That's all I'm saying to you. So
okay.
I just take it into consideration that you'll have about, I don't know, 15 downspouts off that whole entire roof, maybe even more. So
Okay, any other members have questions of the applicants?
I just wanted to say one more thing,
Just,
sorry.
oh, yes, go ahead, Mrs.
if I
Fawcett, go ahead.
could. You know, we were quite surprised by both neighbors' opposition to the project. Irene Lincoln had texted me a week before that March 31st meeting, saying she didn't want to cause any trouble with her neighbors. She had reached out after receiving the ZBA letter, and she sent us, after like just some back and forth of questions, she sent a text message saying, no, that does not look like it's going to obstruct any views from my side. It looks like it's going to be a pretty awesome setup so long as it's left open.
He was referring to the open back porch. We're not going to have a roof on the back deck and obstruct any views from anybody for anything.
So we had thought that there was not opposition from the project. And last fall, Steve had spoken with both Kathy and Jay Ryan. And, you know, Kathy said, as long as you get a permit, do whatever you want. So I just wanted to say, you know, and I have no idea if the neighbors think that we're getting special treatment by going to the zoning board, but this was the process that the building commissioner informed us we had to proceed with. I also reached out immediately after the meeting and tried to find a time to meet. I sent 4 days, various times, trying to accommodate their schedules, and there was no response back. And then a letter was sent stating that they did not want anything changed to the outside of the house. And I just, you know, I'm not sure if this is actually something neighbors are allowed to block an individual from moving forward when they're within compliance of the zoning laws of Nahant. So that's just what we wanted to say.
Okay, thank you. All right, so if any of the other members have any more questions of the applicants, David? Dawn, anybody? wanna
I
ask
do
any-
not, no,
Scott?
I do not have any other questions.
Okay. Scott, do you have any? No? Okay. Now, I know last time we were here, we asked for public opinion and we took it and we continued the match till today. Since we haven't closed the hearing yet, is there anyone new here who wants to speak in favor or in opposition? Okay, nobody else? Kathy Ryan, did you want to speak?
Oops. Yes, I would love to. First, thank you for having this meeting today. Can you see me? Am I all?
No, I cannot. That's okay. We don't need to see you. Don't you
Yeah.
tell me what's your address, Kathy?
154 Wilson.
Okay.
So I just want to clarify a few things. Back in July of last year, Steve did talk to me about this project. And the comment that I made was actually, Steve, either you're crazy or I'm crazy, but there's no way you're going to be able to build a 3-headed wraparound porch on a non-conforming lot. And he said, well, I said, if they give you a permit, good for you. Like if it conforms, that's, you know, if you can get a building permit without going to ZBA, good for you. I definitely never said you can do whatever you want. But then he said, well, I wouldn't go to the ZBA if I can't get a permit, I won't go to the ZBA. So I did want to clarify that. The other thing, I don't have a PhD in mechanical engineering. I do have 30 plus years of living in Little Nahant. Jerry, I was thinking the same exact thing about the runoff of water when you were speaking, prior to when you were speaking of it, because that would just cause more issues, having runoff of water into our yard is the last thing we need anywhere into our yard, seawall. We have enough issues with water coming out of the seawall, which would be a big concern of mine. But overall, again, Steve and Helen have been great neighbors. This is not personal at all. I just feel as though the footprint is the footprint. And like I said before, and this has no reflection on Steve and Helen, that footprint since I've lived here has changed dramatically without permits. So the front part of the deck overhang, that was built. It was a porch. The prior owner built a bathroom, the whole thing out without a permit. So what I call house creep is what I'm concerned about. And again, I'm not concerned about Steve and Helen. We just can't afford to keep expanding because as ownership turns, they then will go for another permit. In this house, that whole big deck wasn't on there before. It was a tiny little, maybe like 5x5 porch. And that whole deck that exists today and wraps around, that's like kind of out of proportion to the house, that wasn't there. So now here we are talking about expanding it more. So that's how I feel. I don't want to make it personal. I want to be a good neighbor, but it's not about Steve and Helen. It's not about being, I just don't want to see expansion. And I just wanted to say that. I know Irene wasn't shown the plans. The other neighbor on the other side, when I talked to Irene after she got the letter, she said, well, Helen talked to me, but she didn't say this was the project. So she was a little misled, I think, as to what the project was. I don't want to speak for her, but that's my understanding.
Okay.
So that's where I stand, and I appreciate the time and your attention to this matter.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so if there's no new persons here who want to speak, I think we're just going to go into our discussion, our deliberations. All right, so we've got David, Jerry, Scott, myself. What do you guys think?
Just regarding the last thing that Kathy talked about. We can't take into account anything that was done to the house by any other owners prior to this happening, right?
Not that I know of, especially if 10 years have passed, because that would be the statute of limitations on an unpermitted project. I
Okay.
don't know how long it's been, but we'd have to have someone would have to bring a complaint for enforcement. When they see something wrong like that, they should
Right.
bring a complaint and it can be enforced, but without that, you can't do anything about it. Because we're not enforcers. We don't go around looking at property. We just do what's in front of us.
Correct.
So the matter in front of us right now is the deck that's going
Right.
around with a roof.
Yes.
And how do we feel about it?
I wish there was a way to cut it down somewhat, like put the roof on one side and maybe the front, or something like that, but not both sides or whatever. It just seems to me like it's a little excessive. But what do what do you guys think?
I don't have any problems with the setbacks. I think they're right on, and even the ratios is not bad at all. But I do have a problem with the drainage. But maybe he can go back and get the drainage part corrected and maybe do something about that. But other than that, I don't see anything really out of whack here.
I know it's really not. Normally, it's way less in terms of what people often ask us for.
Correct. It's within the setbacks. I mean, that's number one. I think that's great. And then the ratios are 33%. Most people want a lot more than that. But at the same time, I think that they should take into consideration is maybe a drainage system, and I don't know if they need all that roof like you were saying, but maybe they can take that into consideration.
But David, what do you guys think?
I think there seems to be like an overall, not like a policy or public policy concern about following the rules versus not following the rules because they're following the rules and it seems that they're almost getting pushback for following the rules versus in the past, people and their neighbors, which was shown, didn't find it. So now they have I know we're not enforcers, but I want to make sure that we set like a precedent of like we are listening to the neighbors, but also listening to people who are following the rules and requesting the right setbacks and following the rules and making that into consideration. So I think that's my internal processes of listening to the neighbors while listening to the applicants as well. I don't have an opinion yet. I'm just kind of voicing my opinion and what I'm hearing from the neighbors versus what the applicants are.
Good point. David, you're the only one we haven't heard from.
I guess the question I have is, can we enforce the drainage that Jerry is discussing within our rules, or does that need to go back to Conservation Commission?
Well, I don't think it's part of our zoning.
Yeah, no, it's not part of our zoning, but there is something that the conservation makes them do. And it's a leaching tank and they tie the downspouts into them. And that's what they'll have to do regardless, I'm pretty sure. But I would make that a priority because they're adding all that roof and they have a lot more roof water coming down. That means the water will be going right to the left and, back to front, away from the house. So that means, it's gonna be an issue over time. I like I said, it's within the setbacks. The ratios are not bad. I think maybe he can go back and take something into consideration and come back to us and try to make something happen. But right now, I don't feel, that I can do anything.
So I just want everybody to know too that I did a lot of calculations on this before I saw the changes from the surveyor, the information from the surveyor, so not changes. And I tried to figure out from the 12 feet on the like a median, median for the high tide mark to see where we would come in. And it was around between 26 and 27%, even with that extra land. Just want everybody to know I did take a look at that. So we were even closer when we take in the median high tide land, even closer to the conforming. So if we were to make a decision today, I just want you all to know. So I think that what we would have to do is take the two-step approach pursuant to our bylaws and also Mass General Laws, Chapter 48, Section 6. And we would take a look at what parts of this project are non-conforming, what parts are conforming, and then those that are non-conforming, we'd have to make a finding as to whether, if we allow the project, would it be more detrimental to the neighborhood. So before we get to that analysis, though, I just want to say that I think that it's do we want to make a suggestion that there be changes to this plan? Is there anybody that feels that way? I know Jerry does.
I do.
All right, Scott, David.
I agree with Jerry.
Okay, so to try and address the neighbors' concerns, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and we don't, without proper handling of the water, which we don't know exactly what would happen, we don't know if we would end up with, different kinds of erosion that may impact, abutters. So I think that we need to have some sort of rules regarding that, whether we have to go through the Conservation Commission to enforce it, or if we can enforce that ourselves. And that I don't know.
Well, David, I'm pretty sure that Kristen has regulations and she will show you when you call it dig safe and you're doing a drainage system, you'll have a cut sheet of a 3 different tanks. Like one would be a tank with, crushed stone around it so it drains evenly throughout the ground slowly. Another one's a chamber. So there's different ways of doing it, but I'm pretty sure that they have to do it, but I would want a guarantee that they do it for sure. And that's what I'm saying. But maybe they can go back and try to, do something to make it. I like the project. I think it's good. It's decent project. It's conforming to the setbacks, and that means a lot to me. So,
Okay. I would agree with you, Jerry, on the setback piece. I think I kind of disagree on like our role in
yeah,
enforcing, the water runoff thing, but I also see the other side of the coin, which is we've got some opposition here, and it was pretty significant what they had to say. And we want to make sure we listen to them and we, try and help and make this work rather than having a future problem. Because if someone appeals this, it's going to cost them a lot more money and take a lot more time and be more hassle. So if
yeah.
we can try and come to some place in the middle, I think that we'd be better off. So sounds like David and Jerry would be a no on this. So we need to get 4 out of 5. If we were going to have a yes, there was no point in even asking Scott for his poll. So did you all agree, all the members agree that we should present to Mr. and Mrs. Fawcett that if they want to continue for 2 weeks or something like that, to let them try and
Yeah. I
figure
think
out drainage?
I think that would give them, whatever time they need. I don't know if his civil engineer has a cut sheet for the drainage system that he could submit.
Okay.
I mean, that would be helpful. I like the project, like I said, but the only thing I have is
Just dealing with that
and
extra drainage.
maybe I feel the same way you feel about it, Jocelyn. I think it's important to go, maybe a little less roof and some drainage and, make
Then
your
we'd be good
neighbor,
to go.
yeah,
We might be good to go.
maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
All right. So we'll offer that. Mr. and Mrs. Fawcett. So what we have here is we have 2 people on the board who pretty much with the poll we just did, general discussion, they would be voting no as the project sits today. They would like to address the neighbors' concerns if we could, and it doesn't, I know it's been a long time and it's been a hassle for you and you've applied and then had to reapply because of the dates on the letters. We're doing the best we can here, but we'll give you the earliest date that you want. If you can please take a look at the drainage situation, what you can do, and the idea of perhaps removing one side of the roof, maybe the right side, take it off, whatever one's more important to you, I would keep. And then come back to us. And sounds like we might even have a consensus at that point, but we need to see those 2 things is what the board is asking for. Do you think you'd like to do that, or do you want us to make a decision for you today?
Well, I just want to make a statement that the Conservation Committee did review this. They did talk at length about the water runoff and, the fact that there's a 5-foot wall between us and the Ryans. There's certainly not going to be any water running off into that property. And on the other side, we've got a grove of trees or bushes, and I don't see any water shedding to the Lincoln side of the property as well. And the Conservation Committee basically said, I think the water is fine because you've got so much side yard to percolate it into. Because remember, we're not paving or extending the foundation. And so the water will percolate into the ground, much like it's doing today.
But listen, I'm trying to say that you add more roof, you add more runoff. It's going to be concerned. I think you take it into consideration, because after you build it and this water's running over your neighbor's house and your neighbors and you are not getting along, I think you should just take what we have to say in consideration.
Well, I'm certainly doing that, and I appreciate that.
Okay.
And I understand it. I mean, I'm in the water regularly. I surf out front all the time, and water runoff is very much a concern because I deal with what's coming from the other side of Nahant Bay. So very much, understand the concerns, and we'll address them as appropriate. And if you want to take 2 weeks, I'm just not sure what path to take because I don't have the Conservation Committee said it looks like it's fine for the water runoff, and you're saying it's not. So what
Yeah.
path?
So you need a cut sheet from Joe Fair or whoever your civil engineer is. He'll show a cut sheet with a tank and then the pipe tank, going into the tank. You might need 2 of them, one on each side. So the downspouts are tied into a tanking system so it leaches evenly into the ground and it's finding its way back.
Yeah, essentially a French drain scenario, a cult.
Yeah, but there's 3 different ways of doing it. Then the Conservation Commission, she has something, Kristen has something on her site, because I called DigSafe 2 days ago and they automatically sent me the specifications of drainage system on a site
Okay.
like yours. So maybe you should call DigSafe and see, but I think you should research it a little more and then come back to us.
Okay.
All right.
And
What's the
so-
earliest date you would like, sir?
Whatever you got.
All right. All the members, what's the earliest you can do? It's 2 weeks, 1 week?
How about that same day we did the 27th of May or whatever it
That's
was?
like a whole month though, Jerry,
Okay,
right?
okay.
And these
Too
poor people
far?
have been waiting a
Okay,
long
sorry.
time. Unless
I
they
also
want to
think
go there.
the 27th will be 3 hearings. I don't think with Cam's hard stop, we don't know if we'll go too
That's
far
true.
over.
Thank you, Scott, you're right. Okay, so
Say the 28th.
that's
2
pretty
weeks
far
from now.
out. Today's the
14th.
14th. So how about, the 28th of April? That's 2 weeks, guys. Can everybody do that?
I can do the 20th.
Yeah, I think I
Checking my
could do
calendar right now.
Okay.
4/28, 4/28, 26. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I could do that. You want to do 3 o'clock again?
I think it's good.
Let me go back
You
to my
know, we used
calendar.
to meet
Okay,
at night, but we moved it to the afternoons because it just was easier for people. I'm okay with that, 28th to
At
3 o'clock.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm good with it too.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably have to do it on the phone again, but that's fine.
Do what you have to do, David. We appreciate it. So, Mr. and Mrs. Fawcett, we're almost there, it sounds like. I need a motion to continue the matter. Could
I
have
make a motion to continue the matter with proper drainage and reducing some of the footprint of the roof.
I'll second the motion.
David Walsh seconded it. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Aye,
David
Gerardo
Walsh,
Raphael.
aye.
Okay.
Aye, Scott O'Frias.
And Jocelyn Campbell, aye. Okay, that's it. That's it for that hearing. And we might be having another meeting after this with some other people from the building department. So, Mr. and Mrs. Fawcett, thank you for your patience with us. And we're gonna see you in 2 weeks. Just do what you can. Okay, see what you can find out about that drainage issue. And if we can do something to help the neighbors, then we're in a good place.
Hold on, I'm gonna talk to you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for your help. Take care. Okay, Scott and Jerry and David, you guys can you stay on for a minute? I want to see
Okay.
if let me see. I thought, but I didn't hear from Max, but again, he called me and said that he might, we were going to have a meeting, and I said, well, why don't you join us afterwards? And he said he'd let me know, but he didn't say whether or not they were coming. So I'm assuming they're not. We were going to talk about a few issues. One of them is the decision from 30 Emerald. And I wanted to also just talk about how that's going to.
I was gonna go to the Greek place.
I'm sorry, who's that?
Yeah.
It sounds like Jared.
Okay, you going out there?
That's
too?
Jerry? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. I'll see you.
I'm on twice because I keep getting kicked off the internet. So
Okay.
I'm in two different spots.
Kathy, I see you're still on. You can get off if you want because we're all done with the hearing. So, what I wanted to talk to everybody about was how that decision, if at all, impacts us. And those who attended the selectmen's meeting heard that they were trying to make a decision about whether or not to appeal it further. And my response was that although I thought it would be good because I'd like to get ourselves vindicated and we had a statute to deal with and we didn't have really a lot of choices there because the property had been torn down. I didn't see what spending 5 or 10,000 from the town would do for us, how it would help us. That's my opinion, but they chose not to appeal it anyway, based I think upon Dan Scripps' recommendation. But I did want to talk to the building department about their interpretation of that and the statute and the statute, the bylaw, and how it affects us going forward. That was one thing. Another thing is we want to make sure that our applications are being used, because a lot of times we've been getting these applications and they're still using an old application. And lastly, there's one more thing I want to talk about with the building department. Oh, the dimensional form. Everybody knows the dimensional form we filled that we get that shows, for example, the percentages having to do with the lot and the building coverage. We want to make sure that they're using the right form, because it should say building coverage now, not lot coverage. That was something that we fixed a while ago, and they're still using the old form. And we want to make sure that the building department does fill this out. And what Max told me is that they had stopped doing it. Is Max there? No, he's not. Because they didn't want to be in a position where they were telling people what they needed in terms of relief. And what I said is, my opinion was, well, you still need to fill it out and sign it. You can leave that part blank if you want, but we need you to tell us that these are the correct figures. Otherwise, we have no idea. So he was going to talk to them about that and get back to us. So that was it. Just those three things. Well, I guess we'll arrange it for another time. Does anybody have any questions or anything before I get out of here?
Was Max planning on joining at 4, or was he planning on?
He never got
joining
back
at
to
3?
me, so I don't know. He said he was going to check with them and
Okay.
let me know. Then I didn't hear, but I put it on the schedule just in case. So
Okay.
I'll reach out to him again and see if he can come at the next meeting, maybe.
It's fine with me.
Yeah, it's just good to talk to them too, to get their input on things. So, that's all I have so far. Anybody else want to raise any issues or talk about anything?
I think, Jocelyn, I think the other issue that came up regarding, whether we appeal was the possibility of another court stepping in and throwing out 703E.
That's true.
And by not appealing, we don't have that, hanging over our head.
Right. And Scott's not aware of it so much, maybe aware of it, but not super familiar with it because he wasn't here at the time. So there's a part of our bylaws that, the Attorney General's office had approved, and that's what we relied on, and then that's what turned the case over, basically. So, and they were going to make him tear the properties down.
But I think the new town manager was well aware of it, and she said that she would talk to the inspectors to make sure that they know how the law reads, and not allow anybody to tear down something, before it can be measured properly.
Right, exactly.
So that we don't run into the fire issues.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of different interpretations on this particular matter too. My interpretation was completely different from Jocelyn's, and but at the same time, it somewhat read the same.
Mm-hmm. Right. Because at the end of the day, we really didn't have that property, the prior property, to use for measurement purposes. So I know we did our best with it. We had Scott. We had 6 hearings on that.
I remember looking at it and looking at the statute, because the statutes and the bylaws worded very funky.
It is. It is pretty funky. All right, so I guess that's it. So I'll get the notices ready for the next time. Oh, and I did want to talk about, but not everyone's here tonight, so we'll wait till the next meeting. I'm looking to find someone to take the minutes from now on. If you can find one person to do it, either one person does it all the time or I rotate it. And I know not everyone is into writing decisions. If you're not a person who's good on the computer or doesn't want to do that, that's fine. But maybe there'd be 2 or 3 of us that could do it. I know that, Cam's a lawyer. He's real busy, but we would ask him. Scott, maybe Ian and Jake, they seem to, I don't know, I'll ask whoever's interested. If there's 2 or 3 people, it doesn't have to be everybody, but whoever wants
Jocelyn, how do you do it now? You do it like an AI thing help you with it, or you do it all yourself?
I do it all myself.
That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
It is. You do a good job at it too.
For a while, I had a part-time, I used somebody from an online, not Thumbtack, but one of those programs.
Why couldn't we take the $10,000 and use it towards something like that? You're talking about the money. Can we get a program that would help us?
I don't know that it's a program. I think it's just a matter of getting someone. I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of different things that we can buy if we, I just asking if, that would help.
Well, let's give it some thought.
Yeah, maybe we can look into something like that.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
So,
Yeah, I mean, one of the other things
Oh, go ahead,
also
Dave.
is the reason why, if we have some money for it, that we cannot use, Jen to take the notes and write it up.
is she available, and is that something that she can fit into her job responsibilities?
I don't.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know, what the job description she has is, but if she has a job description that allows her to be remunerated for taking notes and turning them into documents, then why not take that advantage?
We should find out, because I know previously, like a few years back, it was determined that that position was too busy to take on any more work. I think there was at one time somebody said that, but I don't know who it was, but it was a while ago. So we could just.
If we can allocate the $10,000 though, I think that would go a long way. I don't even think we'll spend that if sure hourly pay was whatever it was and it was overtime. If it's 2 hours, it shouldn't be a lot, but that's something you have to ask the town manager, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
where would we get the $10,000 though?
I don't know. I thought you said something about $10,000 at
No,
this.
I said,
Yeah.
well, I didn't think that the town should have to spend $5,000 or $10,000 on an appeal if the
Oh.
itself wasn't gonna get us anything.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was about a different subject. Okay. For some reason, I thought we had a budget they gave us.
We do, but it's about $2,500.
Okay.
And that's if we need an expert or something like that. Or we can use it for whatever we want.
Mhm.
Want to use that to pay someone to come in and do the minutes and the.
Yeah, if we could pay Jen to do it, like he was saying, it'd be great if she wants to do it. But at the same time, I have a computer guy doing all these different programs for me right now for my company. I'm going to ask him some questions about what we just talked about, and I'll get back to you on that part. But I think, David, I don't know how you go about it. Jocelyn, do you ask the town manager if if we can use some of that 2,500 to pay somebody to?
Yes, that's what we do. We have to decide, take a vote on it at our next meeting, for example. So we make a motion, we do a vote and decide how we're gonna spend the money. And if we're gonna do it that way, then that's how we would do it. But we first have to see if she's available, if Jen's available.
Correct,
Or
correct.
someone else. And I have tried some AI programs, like, for this Fathom and another one to take the notes. And it's helpful because it does put it in writing, but at the same time, you still have to go through it completely and put it in the form of minutes, and then you have to write the decision from that. So
I don't
Yeah,
mind. I don't mind writing the minutes and stuff. I write all day, so
That's
um,
awesome.
I think if Jerry finds the right AI subscription service, I feel like all the free ones are kind of, for lack of a better term, shitty. And
yes.
so I think
Yeah.
that if we're going to use the budget to get an AI subscription service, I have no problem compartmentalizing and putting it into minutes, basically like a deposition summary. So it's not a.
Right.
Oh,
I
that'd be
know
awesome.
I'm only alternate, but I can help out with drafting the minutes. That's not a problem for me.
You're not only an alternate. I don't know why they have separate names, but you're a very special alternate. All right, so we can talk about that at the next meeting. I'll let everybody know we're going to do that. I'll put it on the agenda.
Especially, I think we should keep some of the budget unspent, kind of based on what I've listened to at these hearings right now. I think a couple of them are going to be going on for a little bit. And I think that there's going to be, given the amount of fees that people are spending on hiring lawyers, I don't think that they're going to go away right away, especially on some that are continued.
That's probably true.
Like the Airbnb one, Rich May is not a cheap law firm, so I don't.
Well, we can't talk about matters that are not before us right now.
Yeah.
So I will, I'm actually gonna be filing the decision and everything. I'll send it over to everyone by tomorrow morning to review for that matter. And
Scott, by the way, I just wanted to say something. So if you can look into an AI thing, I'll have my program look into an AI thing and I'll send it to you so you can look at what he recommends and what you may find, and maybe we'll find something that will be helpful for us
That'd be
and
awesome.
Jocelyn.
yeah, great.
Because Just to make another comment of that, one of the issues I think sometimes, especially if we go in 2, 3, or 4 or 5, hearings, it would be great to have in front of us what's already been discussed at the past hearings.
Yes.
Sometimes I don't remember everything that we talked about. And if we had something that was, AI was able to, generate for us, so that we get to the next hearing 2 weeks later,
We
we
just
already
put it in the
know
Dropbox.
what issues
Mhm.
we've already discussed. Yeah. And just
Right, because I don't
take
always
it
have the
from
minutes
there
done by
rather
then.
than,
We're supposed to have
Right.
it in 2 weeks.
and that way we're not regenerating things that we already discussed.
Good point. I like it. Okay, I'll get the agendas ready. We'll talk about it next time.
Yeah, great. I think it was a very good meeting that we had tonight.
Me too.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank
Jocelyn.
you. Have a nice week.
All right.
You
Take care, all. All right.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
too.